All right, hello. I am live. I just want to go really quickly on Instagram and let everyone know I am able to go online. Welcome, everyone. For those who do not know, my name is Priscilla, and this is Teaching Brainiacs. Here we learn about math, and actually, we are going to add other things that is soon to be announced. So I'm excited about that. And being that we are ready at the beginning of the school year, why not get started, right? Get the learning going and things like that. As I mentioned really quickly, let me go on Instagram and let everyone know we made it. I was having a bit of issues. Hey everybody, we are going live. Yay! So we are on. Come on and check us out. I'm going to leave the link on right there. Hey everybody, we are going live. All right. Yay! So we are on. This is a great time. I wanted to go over the questions that I got from the state exam prep series that I have. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I was not anticipating this working. So I had to change to my iPad and all of that. I may or may not eliminate all of this, but here we are. So if you do have any questions, I will be posting everything in my chat. And I will let you know my email, my phone number, as well as my website. So if you have any questions, if you have anything, just let me know. So today I just wanted to do a few things. I wanted to talk about division, right? So I usually teach K to 12, and a lot of the material that I have in YouTube has focused on more the 5th grade. But I definitely want to add a little bit more for those who need help. So for division, the easiest way to think about it is just to have something divided equally, right? So if we have something like a number like 12, we want to divide it into equal groups of, let's say, 4, right? And the way that I remember it, and I even tell my students to do so, is by thinking about it like this. 6 in different and equal, right? So we have equal parts. And let's say we want to divide this number 12. Well, we could do it this way, right? So we have 12, and then we have 2 groups. And if we count each group, that would be 6. So we have 2 groups of 6. So that means that, we're doing 12 divided by 4. Let me change it to 2 to make it a little bit easier. Sorry about that, guys. So 2 groups of 6, right? So we could divide it by 2. So that means that 12 divided by 2 gives us 6, right? And another way to think about it is if we have 12 marbles and we want to give each 2 students equal amount of marbles, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's another way of thinking about it. Always, whatever works for you. If this visual helps you, whatever happens to help. So that's that. Let's say we did do the 12 and 4, right? And if I'm going too fast, feel free to let me know in the chat or send me a message, and I have no problem explaining it in greater detail. So we have 12 divided by 4, right? So we have the big number, which is 12, and then we have 4 groups, so we could do 4 groups like this, or however that it makes it easier for you to understand, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? So in each group, we have 3, right? So that means 12 divided by 4 equals 3. And that's that. I just want to give you a quick little representation of it so that way you could have a better understanding of what division is. So that's that. Then after that, let's go into bigger numbers. So when you have big numbers, we're not going to go into, doing things like that, because then we're going to end up having 100 marbles in one, and it's going to be a lot of work, right? So we have something called long division, right? long division. Sometimes it's called repeated subtraction, the old school method, all those kind of things, right? So if let's say we wanted to do the same number but a little bit bigger, right? Want to do 4 into the number 124. All right? So what we could do is that we would say, well, this is where knowing your multiplication is very important, right? So we want to make sure that we know our our times table. So we're going to know that 4 times 1 equals 4, 4 times 2 equals 8. That's what I mean, right? We're going to do 4 times 3 equals 12, right? So here we could do 4. Well, we can't do 4 into 1, so that's a no-no. 4 into 12. Well, guess what? We know that 4 times 3 equals 12. And if it helps you to remember, there's a little multiplication sign there, right? So 4 times 3, right, equals 12. So now, because it's called repeated subtraction for a reason, because now we are going to subtract. Boom. So now 12 minus 12 is 0. And then we're going to go drop this 4 down because it's lonely and it needs to come down, right? 4. So 4 goes into 4. Well, 4 times 1 gives us 4, right? We have 1. 1 times 4 gives us 4. And again, repeated subtraction. So fantastic. We are ending with a 0. Sometimes with numbers like this, we can actually have something called a remainder, which wasn't going to be part of what I wanted to talk about today, but we're going to go for it today. So let's say we have this number, right? And instead of it being 124, it'll be 126. Watch what happens. Well, we know 4 doesn't go into 1. 4 goes into 12. Well, we know that it goes 3 times. Remember the little multiplication sign? 4 times 3 gives us 12. So 4 times 3. And again, if this is too hard or too easy, feel free to let me know, and I have no problem breaking this down a little bit further. So we end up with 12. Remember, it's repeated subtraction, long division, so there we are. So 12 minus 12 is 0, but in math, we don't have to put a 0. We kind of like know what's up with that. So now we bring down the lonely 6. So now we have 4 goes into 6. Well, how many times? 4 goes into 6. Will it be 4 or will it be 8? Well, if we did 4 times 2, 8 is bigger than 6, so we can't use that number. So we would have to use 4 times 1. So then 4 goes into 6. Remember, we put that number up here, the 1. 1 times 4 gives us 4. And then here we are with this right here, where we're at 6 minus 4 gives us 2. So that means that it's 31 R2. And that would be a remainder. And we're not talking about robots or anything. All right. So that is, in a nutshell, the division. And again, you just keep doing that when the number gets bigger. It's the same thing. The other form of division, I'm going to erase this. And always feel free to, I always like to pause really quickly. So if you want to take a screenshot, feel free. Oh, never mind the kid at 12. I don't want to confuse you. So then the next one is the Big 7 method. Now, I don't know if there's multiple different ways. I'm just going to go over these two, the long division and the Big 7 method. So let's say we have that same number, right? 126. So now when it comes to this type of this type of division, we're going to use larger numbers. So remember how we did the 12 into 1, 12 into 12? That's kind of like what we were doing before. Instead, we're going to use something like 12 times 10. Well, when we do 12 times 10, once you get to the point, you would understand that when you multiply a number by 10, you could just add the 0 at the end. Because when you multiply it up, guess what? 2 times 0 is 0, 0 times 1 is 0, and then we have the 0 to hold a spot here, right? 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 1 is 1. So now, when we multiply, that gives us 120, right? So what we would then do is that this 10 would be out here. So it would be 10, right? And then it would be 120. And then now we're left with 6. And then we would have to go and do this, right? And then this would mean that we'll start introducing decimals. So when we introduce decimals, that is very important. All right, so 12 goes into 60. Well, we know our times table is 12 times 1 is 12. And if you do not, I always recommend putting it on the side until you remember, especially these bigger numbers. 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 3 is 36. 12 times 4 is 48. 12 times 5 equals 60. You guessed it, right? So now we have 60. And just like with the repeated subtraction, we will also subtract here. And then we're left with 0. So we had to do 5, right? So then now with this, we would have to add it. So then that would give us 15. And that's how you do the Big 7 method. Feel free to screenshot this for any other questions. The other thing that I know that was asked for my other previous videos, in case you haven't seen them, feel free to check them out. I'll make sure to link them in the description, as well as any other information. So that's that. I will stop the division for a quick second, and I will go into the decimals really quickly. All right, so we'll screenshot if you want to, and then I'm going to erase. So another important thing with math is understanding place value, and the reason why that's important for decimals is that we want to make sure everything's in its rightful place. So we have, this is something called a place value chart, and we will have the numbers in the ones, tens, hundreds. Right? Depending on the school, sometimes you learn this in first grade, second grade, third grade. The most important part is that you have to understand that this is the ones, this is tens, and this is hundreds. So if you don't know what ones means, numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 9. Tens would be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all the way up to 99, because now 100 will take the hundreds place. All right, and then after the ones place, this is where we hit decimals. And then we have the tenths, and then hundredths. Hopefully I spelled that right. Right? So the reason why I want to put this up here is because another question I did have, which was a fantastic question, was about adding and subtracting, right? Oh, sorry about the light situation there in the ones place. So let's say we have a number like 231 point, and that's to signify a decimal, right? That is the decimal point. Let me write that there, decimal point. So we have, let's say 1 and then 7, right? So, and if we wanted to subtract 42.81. Well, the great thing about having a place value chart is that it keeps it in order. And once you get used to that, then you should be able to do this on a regular basis without even having the place value chart. In the beginning, I would recommend, if your teachers allow, to put it like this. All right, so you have 7. You're gonna start all the way over here. 7 minus 1, which is 7. You have 7, right? Minus 1, 6. Now, even though this is a decimal, we still have to regroup. So 1 minus 8. So we have to take from here, right? This becomes a 0. That becomes an 11. So 8, 9, 10, 11, right? That's 3. And then guess what? 0 minus 2. So we have to regroup again. So the 3 becomes a 2. And then that becomes a 10, right? So 10 minus 2 is 8. And then, oh, we have to make sure we keep our decimals. And then 2 minus 4. So now we have to regroup. So then now, this becomes 12 minus 4. It will be 8, right? And then this would be our answer, right? So let's make sure. And another thing that's important to do is to check your answer, right? So another way of checking is doing this. This is without the chart, so you can see, plus 42.81. So that's 7, 11, 11, and wait, what? Sorry, hold on 1 second. Let me make sure I have the right numbers. 8836, 42.81, 11, 11, and 13. So if we see here, something didn't work here, right? So even me, see, I even make mistakes because I was going a little too fast and being a chatterbox. But you get the idea, and then let's go back to make sure. And this is why it's important to always recheck your work, right? So 7 minus that. So we have this. 11 is 3, right? Then we have 10 minus 2 is 8. You know what happened? See, we missed this little number right here. See, things like that can happen to any of us. You see what I mean? So now, if I did that now, 188.36 plus 42.81, 7, 8 and 3 is 11, 8 and 3 is 11, 13, 23. So, boom, perfect, we got that number. So this is how you would subtract, all right? And I would also go to say that if we use these same numbers, we would do the adding. And then we'll end here, because actually it's a little longer than I wanted. But, you know, anything to help you guys, just definitely please feel free to reach out and let me know what your questions are so I can help. All right, I do check my emails. My emails are working perfectly now. So feel free to let me know if you do have any questions. So now here we are, we're actually going to add, right? Did I have a number over here? Well, it's fine. So then now we're gonna add this. The first time we subtracted, now we're adding. So 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 and 1 is 9. You see how we're keeping everything in order. 2 plus 1 is 3. And 4 plus 2 is 6. Right? And then if we're going to continue to do the checking, right? We could put this here, the check. And 42.81 is a very good idea to do. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 and 8 is 17. Wait, I'll make sure I'm adding the right numbers. Yeah. Well, yeah, let's just leave that alone. But anyway. So that's that. And then we have, we could actually multiply now with these. So I'm going to erase this. I hope you screenshotted everything. Let's go into multiplying. Why not? We'll have a little bit of time. You guys have been patiently waiting for me to come back. And again, I apologize for the lateness with the videos and things. It was just a lot of technical issues. So we are going to do multiplying of decimals. So let's say we have 2.4 times 0.8. Right? Remember, we're lining up our decimals as always. Oh shoot, I'm sorry. Can't see that too good. 2.4 times 0.8. Right? So now we're going to do 8 times 4 is 8, 16, 24, 32. Again, don't feel rushed. If you don't know your times tables, feel free to work on the end over here. If I were you, I would do 8 times 1, 8 times 2 equals 16, things like that to help you get better. Let me write the next one. Let's see, 24, and 8 times 4 equals 32. At least until you get it like this, right? 8 times 2, since it's already there, we know it's 16 plus 3 would be 19. And then 0 times 4 is 0, because anything times 0 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. So now we add this baby up, right? 2 plus 0 is 2, 9 plus 0 is 9, 1 plus 0 is 1. To carry those two decimals, so it's 1, 2. Go from here, 1, 2. So the answer would be 1.92 for that one. All right. Then let's see. Well, we already went over how to read decimals. We did multiplying, and we also did subtracting, which I'm very excited about. We did long division, and that's pretty much it. One of the last things I'll cover really quickly, which I have covered before, but why not? Let's go into it again, is we will talk about fractions. One of my favorite things to talk about. So we have fractions, right? And I want you to visualize, this would be what they often call this a unit fraction, which all that means is just like a standard fraction. That's all that pretty much means. And then, so this would also just be that's that. So then now we have mixed fraction, right? So we have 2 and 1/4. That would be a mixed fraction. Or sometimes you'll hear a mixed number, right? And I think it's important for you to understand this. And then we have 13/4. That would be an improper fraction. All right. So knowing this is very important for us to know, because you want to understand the difference between the three of these that you'll see. And how you handle each of these is very different. So if you have a fraction problem where you need to do the butterfly method, right? Which is another question I had. I'm not posting anyone's names or anything because these are students and I respect everyone's privacy. But the question was for the butterfly method, right? When do you use it? You can use it for subtracting and adding. That's the only time you would use the butterfly method. And the butterfly method is just simply doing this. Sorry, excuse me. Multiplying across and then adding it. So 2 times 4 is 8 plus 8. And then you would multiply this. Alright? 8 times 4 is 32. So you get 16/32. Sorry, I did that pretty fast, but that is what the butterfly method is. The only time you would use that is when you are adding and subtracting. So with this, I hope I answered all your questions. Please tell your friends and family to come and check me out on Mondays. Feel free to let me know any other questions you have. I will be definitely monitoring the chat. By next Monday, it will definitely be at 5. If anything does change, I'll let you know, but I'm so excited to be here. I'm excited to come back. Lives are not my thing, but it's something great to get us back into it. And I don't want to wait until the state exam prep for you guys to see me and ask any and all questions. So feel free to reach out. And I will also put in my community box as well as a description all the information from the Telegram group that I have going on, to the information for the free classes that I do, for everything that is going on. I'm even running a fantastic back to school birthday flash sale. I'm actually offering for private classes, it's 2 sessions for $50. So feel free to also check that out. And that's it. So I will definitely check out the comments. If there's anything else you want to learn, I know that the next thing that we're definitely going to talk about are word problems. I already have my list here. We're definitely going to talk about word problems, line plots. We're going to review more of the butterfly method, and definitely some dividing with decimals. And until then, I'll see you. Have a great evening. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. And how do I exit?